Welcome back to the third installment on building a decisive competitive edge. If you'll remember, last time we covered both breaking the conflict that got us stuck in the first place and its positive outcomes. This video is my favorite. Let's see how to take the understanding we worked so hard to gain and turn it into an unrefusable offer. It'll be fun, I promise. This is typical of a competitive edge based on a product. Product edges are easily copied for less, and they are temporary. What we need is an advantage that for some reason competitors refuse to copy. But how? A service-based edge can be just as real as product superiority. The question is, what can we do that nobody else can do? The theory of constraints offers three different operational tools. CCPM works for project companies and could also be used for new product development. Our frog leaks more often than your frog. DBR is used in plants to produce the product faster and with less variation, but only really provides a decisive competitive edge on its own in times when the whole industry lacks the capacity to keep pace with demand. Obviously, if you had somebody who didn't have any load on their plant, they could quickly make something and get it out, and you'd be competing against that. This one has high potential for shippers, a distributor. So shippers adopted TOC replenishment. In 6 months, these were the outcomes. Turns doubled and availability increased by an order of magnitude. That's a factor of 10 for you non-scientists. Shippers now provides a much better service, but it will take a long time before the market fully realizes it. After all, build a better mousetrap and the world will beat a path to your door after you're dead. So we need to speed it up. We got a group together to think about it. So yes, it made us 10 times better, but we're probably 100 times better than the customers. Because customers don't really need to worry about running out. They're always as another distributor hiding under a rock somewhere who can deliver something just a phone call away. But that led us to the breakthrough. During a brainstorming session of a cross-functional team, somebody blurted this out, and the room went quiet. If we really are 100 times better, why don't we manage their inventory? Of course, there's head shaking, it can't be done, and so forth, but people were really thinking about it. There are 3 wins for the customer. No more interrupted production, they have fewer panics and less stress, and they can focus on important stuff. And there's also a win for shipper supply. Making special runs to customers does cost extra money. Rushes disrupt the office, and they happen almost every day. So this is a good win for everybody. And again, they have less inventory, and there are 3 wins for them and 1 win for shippers. I'll leave you to read them. They never order again. That's a win. Not only do they not have to see our salespeople, they don't have to see any packaging salespeople. Big win. Our experts get to quit begging for orders, and instead they provide real value. The customer wins, they get the value. The salesperson wins because they have some sense of purpose that they're doing something important, more so than they were before. And the lock-in helps the buyer, the company, and shippers. This represents a serious improvement, not just for their company, but for their employees, who we need on our side in order to move ahead. So how to keep competitors from copying us? Again, this came from the cross-functional brainstorming session. Somebody shouted out a guarantee, and other people groaned. The first person shot back, not some crappy guarantee like FedEx gives you. You know, they advertise if it absolutely positively has to be there overnight, and then your bid package worth millions that's due tomorrow takes 3 days to arrive. So they give you the ground rate of $8 instead of the $25 they already charge you, but only if you call them and bitch to get your $17 back, as if that was any kind of help. No, I mean make it big. like $1,000 per day, unless we do everything we said. If the product ever runs out, if ever their on-hand inventory gets to be more than it is right now, that's to keep them from worrying that we'll overload them to try to make our goal for the month or something stupid like that. Holy shit, the controller said, we'll go broke. Somebody who had gotten excited yelled over the noise in the room, let's calculate it. It's just a matter of multiplying the probabilities times the exposure. And it worked out to just 3 times per year. Somebody else jumped up and said, if it's only that much, the competitors will quickly copy us. The replenishment manager shot back, hold on, don't forget that we're 10 times better than we used to be, and we were already better than them. Let's do the calculation again for them. Cheering broke out in the room. There was fist pumping. 125 times a year. That's 125 grand. That would kill their profits. 3,000 a year is cheap but effective advertising for us. This thing needs a name. Customers will freak out. It's like we can read their minds. And that's how ESP was born. And here's the whole pitch. Never run out, easiest supplier ever, lower inventories. Or we'll pay $1,000 a day until we fix it. To be clear, the penalty is not designed to mitigate the customer's damages. The penalty is to make proper actions easy for shippers people to recognize. If we have to put somebody in a car to run to St. Louis and back to pick up from a supplier there, it costs far less than $1,000. We do it. If we have to borrow inventory from another customer, way cheaper than $1,000. It's simply a minor hassle. Every employee knows the consequences, and they don't have to ask questions to take actions. They just make sure nobody runs out. This has resulted in better outcomes than $3,000 per year. On average, it takes us about 4.5 years to pay out $3,000 in penalties. Nobody's perfect, but we are so close that we advertise our error frequency. We don't push, we explain and offer. Most people sign on immediately. If not, we explain that we understand that they don't like to switch suppliers. It's a pain. We ask them to go back to their existing supplier and ask them to match every feature, including the guarantee. If the competitor says no, that's proof from the competitor that our offer is the best and that we're the best. To make it easy, we do the conversion. Well, that's it for video number 3. I told you it would be fun. There's one more session to go. Tune in if you want to see how we implement to make it happen.